Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. So happy to be here. All right, so I mentioned that I was going live this morning in a couple places. Hopefully, I'll have one or two people join me. But we're rebranding a little bit. We're not rebranding, but we're expanding our brand. Lots of fun things going on at Modern Mommy Prep School and with the podcast and everything all together. So you're going to notice a few changes. Hi, Carrie Sharp. Thanks for being here. So I'm just quickly giving a little rundown of a couple of the changes that people are going to see coming with the show and with the brand, and then we're going to get right into our episode from Monday. So the idea really is to encourage more discussion around what's happening. Oh, thank you, Carrie. I got it from Stella and Dot. What's happening with our brand. So Mindset Mondays, the podcast episode that's been airing on Mondays for the last 4 weeks, has really taken off. I'm super happy about it. I love that women, especially moms, are loving this content, and I'm getting the feeling that people want more of this. They're short. If you haven't already listened, they're short 10 to 15 minute episodes. We talk about one principle every week to apply in your own life to up-level your life. And also we touch on how this can come into your parenting and how to bring it into your parenting so that you're raising more amazing kids. And I love doing them because I started on my kind of growth and self-help journey. I'd say really got into it 7 years ago, and then really over the last year have been diving super deep into some of this stuff. I'm studying A Course in Miracles. For those of you who don't know, it looks like this. Really studying mindfulness, meditation. And so the brand Modern Mommy Prep School is still going to be for new and expecting moms. We want to prepare moms for motherhood. We want moms talking about all the amazing things they're doing instead of complaining about everything they're not getting done. So that's still there, but I want to help more moms. You know, there's a lot of moms right now who also need some of that. So we're expanding the brand a little bit. In January, the podcast is going to become a podcast for all moms. It's going to be targeting new and expecting moms sometimes, and sometimes it's going to be all moms. So I think you guys will find that the content will be more relevant to you if you're not a pregnant or expecting mom. So let's dive into it. If you catch this live today, that's fabulous. If you don't catch it live, we are going to be extracting the audio from this video. It's going to be its own podcast episode in the future, as well as if we continue to do these, if these seem like something you guys like and we continue to do these live Q&As, we're going to pop these up onto Facebook, YouTube as a separate YouTube show. So you can catch them on YouTube, you can catch these on the podcast, however you like to consume your information. So let's dive into it, because this Monday, if you took a listen to the episode, we talked about one of the big things that you can do in your life and implement in your life to really up-level your life and bring more happiness and less stress into your life. And that was the concept of not taking things personally. And I had mentioned this book, which is called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And he mentions these 4 things in his book. They're principles of ancient Toltec wisdom. And I really like the book because it keeps it super simple. It basically just says, these are the 4 agreements. And if you follow these 4 things, if you can implement these 4 things in your life, you will live a happier life with more love, less stress, and just more freedom. And so these 4 principles, I'm not going to discuss the 4 of them today, but one of the 4 principles was not taking things personally. And when I read this book and I started to implement the changes, these changes into my own life, it actually really changed my life and up-leveled my life in so many ways. And the not taking anything personally is a big one, because I think, especially if you're a mom, right? We moms, we're mama bears. We're sensitive because we're women. We're mama bears. We're protective of our kids. There's so many things, so many dynamic things that are happening within us as women and as moms that cause us to take things personally and be really sensitive about stuff. But what ends up happening is we end up tying our feelings and our thoughts and emotions to what somebody else is saying and doing. And it can really bring your life down a couple of notches when you're constantly relying on someone else for your happiness, or you're blaming others for your lack of happiness. So what do I mean when I say take things personally? So taking things personally really is anytime someone has said or done something that has triggered you in any way. Okay? It doesn't matter whether it was intentional or not intentional. When somebody is posting something on Facebook, whether it's directed at you or not, when somebody is saying something to you, whether it's about you or not, and you're feeling something inside where you're kind of like, that really bothers me that you're saying this, that means you're taking it personally. And the idea behind this concept of not taking things personally in the book basically is that you are not responsible for what anyone else says or does, and you are only responsible for your own thoughts. So when you are receiving information from someone, no matter what it is that they're saying, you're receiving it through your own lens, right? It's like taking a picture of a beautiful sunset. Like, have you ever seen a beautiful sunset and you're like, I'm going to grab my iPhone, I'm going to take a picture of that. And then you take a picture and you're like, that doesn't quite look exactly how it looks out there, right? It didn't quite catch the colors properly. It didn't quite catch the glow properly. It's because it's got a lens. And it's the same way in life. When we are receiving information from somebody else, we've got our own lens covering that information. So I could be saying the same thing to two different people, and both those people are going to receive it differently. One person may be offended and the other person may not be offended. And this is where the art of not taking anything personally comes in. So we talked about this on the show on Monday, and I wanted to come live today to expand on this topic a little bit more, because if you're a mom, this can really play into parenting. And you know, we are all about raising more amazing kids. And I think when you're growing up and you're learning to take things personally, you can become a slave to this. And it can be torturesome for some people to be constantly worried about what somebody else said and did, and you let it upset you. And you get into your 20s and your 30s, and you know, you're constantly affected by what other people are doing. What a gift it would be to be able to give our kids, especially if you have, you know, young children that you're raising right now, especially if you have daughters, because I think girls are so much more sensitive than boys. But wouldn't it be an amazing gift if you could master this practice of not taking things personally, to raise your children in a way where you're really making them accountable for, everybody loves my necklace today, thanks Jyoti. Wouldn't it be great to raise our kids in a world where we are teaching them that they're responsible for their own feelings and thoughts and reactions? And of course, when they're very, very small, they're still figuring out their emotions, and they're learning what it means to be happy and sad and angry, and we want to encourage that. But I think there is something to be said for, as a mom, really mastering this idea of not taking things personally and realizing that we are in charge of our own happiness. Nothing my husband or my mom or my best friend says or does should affect me in a negative way, unless it's triggering something deep inside of me, right? Typically, when something somebody says bothers me, it's not because of what they said or how they said it. It's because it's triggering something in me. They're a mirror for me. How I respond to them is really showing me that there's some work that I need to do. And so once we can master this in ourselves, I think for young moms especially, and when I say young moms, I mean moms of young kids, I think it can be so powerful to be raising children, especially in today's world where we are bombarded by social media and what our friends are doing and all this other stuff, to teach them that they are responsible for their own thoughts and feelings, and give them that sense of control over their emotions and their brain and how they feel, and not allowing them to be upset by others. It's quite a powerful teaching if you can do that, if you can raise that in your kids. But you can't raise amazing kids unless you are in that place yourself. So this is why I started Mindset Mondays. The podcast episode on Mondays is only 10 to 15 minutes long, and I have had more downloads on those episodes than any of my other ones. So it tells me that women who are not new and expecting moms are listening and they're needing this information and they're wanting to apply it into their own life. So I just wanted to pop in today, check in, see if you guys are listening to the show, let you know that today's live broadcast is going to be posted up on YouTube, and also to remind you, because we talked about this on Monday, but we didn't talk about how it relates to your kids. So I really wanted to kind of expand on how this relates to your kids. So raising children in a way that they realize that they are in charge of their feelings. And we do this a lot with our kids. Now that our kids are in kindergarten, and I have twins, for those of you who don't know, they're 5. Now that we've gotten through those early years, they're becoming little people. They're their own people now. So, and we're lucky because they have each other at the exact same age. And so they're mirrors for each other because they spend a lot of time together. And, there's sibling rivalry. They fight a lot, and, he said this and that made me feel this way. And now we're starting to have this dialogue with them. So we teach them that when somebody does something to upset you or hurt your feelings, you have a choice in how you respond to that. So the conversations are still very basic when it comes to your kids, but my mom didn't have these conversations with me when I was 5, right? This is something that I've been working through since I got into my 30s and started on my journey of growth. And man, I probably could have eliminated a lot of stress and anxiety if my parents had raised me that way from the beginning. But no, oftentimes, especially I think women, and maybe I'm biased because I'm Indian, but being raised in an Indian home, you're also raised to believe that you should care what other people think. And I don't know, like maybe everybody feels this way. Maybe a lot of parents raise their kids this way, but you're often raised to behave well, and what will so and so say if you do this? Like you kind of grow up feeling like you've got to make everybody happy and you got to care what people think, and you allow that to dictate how you act and what you do. And it's really it's such a disservice. So let's stop that. Imagine if we could give our kids the tools now to not care what other people think and realize that should not affect them. And teach them that when something is bothering you or upsetting you, you have to look within yourself and ask yourself why that's happening. And man, we could raise some seriously deep kids if we started doing this. And that's my goal. That's my goal with Modern Mommy Prep School. That's my goal with Mindset Mondays, is to help moms evolve to this place where they're feeling... I got a couple of Indian girls chiming in saying yes. So, I would love to be raising my kids in an environment where they're learning that it doesn't matter what other people think. You have to feel good within what you're doing. And when something's triggered within you, you got to look inside and ask yourself why you're triggered. And this shows up everywhere. I mean, I keep using the example of what other people think and what other people are saying, but how often have you seen something go down on Facebook where somebody makes a comment and somebody was offended by it, and, it turns into this big war, and it's like being offended is a choice. These are choices that we make. And when something's being triggered deep within you, anytime somebody does or says something that gives you anxiety or makes you feel stressed or pisses you off or makes you feel offended, that's a sign. That's a sign that there's some work to be done. That's a sign that there's some deep work to be done. And it's like a muscle, right? Like I talked about this on the show on Monday, that this is your homework for the week. So if you listen to the show, hopefully you've already been doing this. But from now on, anytime somebody says or does something, or you see something that bothers you, that kind of like sits on your shoulders or weighs heavy on your heart or gives you anxiety, instead of pointing the finger at that person or that thing or that situation, look within yourself and ask yourself, why does this bother me so much? And I guarantee you, when you really dig deep, there will be something else there that is the reason it's bothering you. It's getting to you because it hit a chord, right? We say it touched a nerve. It touched a nerve. There's something there that's unresolved. And I started doing this about 7 years ago, like I said, when I first read this book. And by the way, I don't if you guys follow me on Instagram, you know with my stories I've been making my own homemade turmeric powder. This is just a side note. So for those of you who are Indian, I know you know what turmeric powder is. I've been making my own at home. So my nails are actually, this is gray nail polish. Look at it. It's like the most disgusting color. That's because I was peeling turmeric all day yesterday. Anyway, that's just an aside. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, come follow me. I share some cool stuff in my stories and like try some new stuff. And I just started making my own turmeric powder. So I'm going to be finishing that off this morning if you want to come watch. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself. It's crazy. I didn't even it's amazing. No, I wouldn't say I'm a super mom. I'm just crazy about health and wellness, and I'm always just looking for, just a little backstory for those of you who don't know. My dad passed away a year ago, and we suffered a lot of disease and kind of heartache in the areas of health and wellness in our family over the last several years. And so I've always been into health and wellness, but I've just taken an extra I'm just extra into it now, and really just wanting to make sure that my family and my kids and my husband and myself don't go down that same path. So anyway, turmeric powder is amazing for you, which I've always known, but I just discovered how to make it myself. So if you want to see the last part of that, I'm going to be doing that later on this morning. You can hop onto Instagram and watch my stories. But anyways, thanks, Carrie. So getting back to what we were saying is, it's like a muscle. I started working on this 7 years ago, and I really started to, every time somebody said or did something that upset me, whether it was my husband, whether it was my best friend, whether it was my mom, whether it was some random person posting something on Facebook who doesn't even know me, I would recognize the feeling, and instead of pointing the finger at the person that's making me feel this way, because when you evolve and you do the deep work, you know that no one can make you feel anything, right? So when I felt like someone's making me feel this way, I recognized that no one can make me feel anything, and there's something being triggered inside me, and what is that, and why is that? So it's a muscle. Every time you feel it, every time you recognize it, you dig deep within. You look within yourself and you go, why does this bother me so much? And chances are pretty good that you've got some sort of attachment to whatever that person said, whatever that feeling is. It's touching something within you. You're taking it personally because it's touching something within you. So that's the first step. That's the first step to changing your life and really stopping taking things personally, is recognizing when it's happening, digging deep within and asking yourself why. Why do I feel this way? Why does this bother me so much? And then dealing with that and not putting any attachment onto allowing other people to make you feel anything, because people can't make you feel anything. That's on you. Now, the flip side of this is, on the other hand, this is so freeing, because how often has someone said to you, when you do this, it XYZ, it bothers me. Or, when you say this, or it's not what you said, it's how you said it, but it really bothered me. And how often do people blame you for making them feel a certain way, right? So this goes both ways. So it's freeing to finally take control of your own feelings and thoughts and reactions and emotions. But on the flip side, you can free yourself from people trying to hold you accountable for how they are feeling. If you've ever had someone say to you, you made me feel this way, or when you did this, it really upset me, you can free yourself from that, because nothing you say or do, or how you say it or how you do it, should affect other people unless it's triggering something in them. So now you can absolve yourself of that huge responsibility and burden of always having to make sure that other people are happy, right? We take such a burden on ourselves, especially as women and moms. We're so sensitive. We don't want to feel like we've hurt anybody's feelings. So when someone says to us, well, you did this and that really hurt me, we take that to heart, and it bothers us. And so now that you are learning this art of not taking things personally, you can go, no, I didn't mean it that way. Like, how often have you said, no, I didn't mean it like that, right? And you feel bad because they took it the wrong way. No, you took that the wrong way. No, actually, they took it in the way that related to them. And you can't do anything about that. We cannot control other people. And so we shouldn't have to walk through life on our tippy toes, being really careful about what we're saying and how we're saying it. If somebody's triggered by something you're saying and doing, that's on them. So if you listen to the show on Monday, you know that I read a really beautiful quote, which, you know, you gotta, if you are into this stuff at all and you find that this is something that's an issue in your life where you're feeling like you're taking on other people's, you know, problems and, you know, other people's blame for how they're feeling, and you want to just be reminded that it's not about you, it's about them. I'm going to read this quote to you. You may have already heard it. And if you have, I apologize, but I'm going to read it again because it's a gorgeous quote. Erin, thank you, Erin, for tuning in. Hi. Okay, so this quote is by a woman named Emily Marushin. Okay, she's got some beautiful quotes, but this is a great one. So take a listen. If you like it, you can Google it and, you know, put it as your screensaver to remind yourself that A, to not take things personally yourself, but B, that you are merely a mirror for other people. When other people are reacting to you, it has nothing to do with you. Okay, it's everything to do with them. And this is a great reminder. I am not here for your understanding of who I am. I am here for your understanding of who you are. I am your mirror. How you feel about me, what you see in me, the thoughts that arise from your encounter of me, the judgments you hold about me are all reflections of you. They have nothing to do with me. Isn't that powerful? It's so powerful, and it's so true. Right? And I know for me, I'm an empath, I'm a sensitive person, and I will oftentimes take on people's, you know, when somebody is feeling upset or hurt, I'll take that on. But it's so powerful to be reminded that when other people are reacting to you, it really has nothing to do with you. You're just a mirror for them, and they're just recognizing something in themselves that's bothering them, right? If you see another mom doing something with her kids and you feel jealous, or you feel less than, or you're kind of feeling annoyed by her, it's not about her, it's about you. It's because there's something inside of you that's feeling less than, or you're comparing, or, you know, you see this with new moms all the time where you've got your little 9-month-old baby, and then you see another mom with a 9-month-old baby, and her 9-month-old baby is walking and your 9-month-old baby is not. And if you're confident and secure in who you are and the stage of development that your baby is at, that's not going to bother you. But if you have been concerned about your child's development, and if you've been thinking maybe there's something else going on, and suddenly you see a 9-month-old baby that's walking and yours isn't walking, it's going to bug you. So, you know, it always just depends on what's going on with you. That is at the heart of your feelings. So if you guys have any comments or questions, pop them into the comments now so that we can dig into it and talk about it. Otherwise, if you haven't already listened to the Mindset Monday episode, go take a listen. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and this Facebook Live is going to be repurposed over to a YouTube channel probably in the next month or so. We've got some great changes coming with the brand. I'm super excited. We've got lots of fun stuff going on, not just for new and expecting moms anymore. And I will share a quick little fun thing that's coming. We've got some physical products coming. I've had so many people, if you watch me on Instagram and you watch my stories, I have gotten messages from people asking me how I get my kids to meditate. And I actually am teaching meditation now. So I'm teaching moms how to teach their kids to meditate. Thanks, Jyoti. Thanks for tuning in. So if you are at all interested in raising more mindful children, children who meditate, children who are really in touch with their heart, and confident kids, and kids who have, just have a heart for being great people, we are coming out with flashcards for children. I think the age range is going to be between 3 and 7, but they're going to be affirmation and meditation flashcards that are going to teach your kids to be more mindful. It's going to be a gateway if you choose to help them learn how to meditate and ground themselves. This is something that I started with my kids when they were very young, but I really believe we need more kids in this world being more mindful and meditating and just having a kind heart. So that's a little, for those of you who are tuning in live, I just want to share that with you. That's our first physical product that we're launching. Hi, Bubble. We're going to be launching these flashcards. So again, if you are a mom of any kids between the ages of 3 and 7, we're coming out with these flashcards that are going to be meditation and affirmation flashcards. And they're not just going to be flashcards. There's going to be a little instruction booklet in there for mom to teach you how to teach your kids to meditate. And there's going to be these cool affirmations. I'm really excited about it, and they're going to be beautiful, and you're going to be able to order them on the website. So yeah, so that's what's happening over at Modern Mommy Prep School with the brand. We're super excited about it. So thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. If you have any questions, pop them into the comments. I will post a link to Monday's episode in the comments as well. And go take a look at that quote by Emily Marushin if you're interested in having it as your screensaver or sharing. I posted it on my Facebook page a couple days ago as well, but you can, just have that as a little reminder that you're not responsible for anybody else's feelings. You're just their mirror, okay? So free yourself from that, and then just take ownership for yourself. So that's your homework for the week. So thanks for tuning in, you guys, and we will see you next time. Have a super Tuesday. And like I said, I'm making fresh turmeric over on my Instagram account, so go watch my story today. So for those of you who don't watch, I'll just tell you quickly so far what I've done. Yesterday, I peeled all the turmeric. They're called rhizomes. So I peeled those, I chopped them, and then I dried them for 2 hours in the oven. So this morning, they're little, if anybody were here, I'm going to show you guys what they look like, actually. As long as I have you on here, I'll show you. And then if you want to come over to Instagram and watch my story, I'm going to show you how I turn. I've only done it once before with a very small amount of turmeric, and it turned out good. So I had a couple of people message me asking me how I did it exactly. So I just was going to share. So here it is. That's what it looks like. So this, when you buy turmeric, it actually looks like ginger. And then you peel it and you chop it up into these small pieces and you dry it in the oven. So, and now we're gonna grind this up into turmeric powder. And so, it's fresh, it's organic, it's just one step healthier than buying it at the store. And I got time to do this kind of stuff, so it's fun. So anyways, come hop on over to Instagram stories and catch that today. Thanks for tuning in, you guys, and we will talk to you next time. Bye.